Hmm. Hello, students. Welcome to poem number 4, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, written by William Butler Yeats. This well known poem explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. And this poem is a lyric. But before I begin with the poem, I would like to tell you something more about the poet. William Butler Yeats was an Irish poet and one of the foremost figures of the 20th century literature. He was a pillar of the Irish literary establishment and he served two terms as a senator of the Irish Free State. He was born on the 13th of June 1865 in Ireland, and some of his wonderful poems are The Second Coming, Lake Isle of Innisfree, Easter, 1916, Sailing to Byzantium, and more. Now, before I begin with the actual explanation, I'd like to tell you something more about the Isle of Innisfree. It is an uninhabited island within Loch Gill in County Sligo, Ireland, where Yeats spent his summers as a child. Yeats describes the inspiration for the poem coming from a sudden memory of his childhood while walking down Fleet Street in London in the year 1888. Now, let us read the poem and then listen to the explanation verse by verse. I will The Lake Isle of Innisfree, written by William Butler Yeats. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening's full of linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core by William Butler Yeats. So, the first verse is I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. Now, the I here refers to the poet William Butler Yeats. He says that he wants to go to Innisfree. Over there, he will build a small room for himself with clay, that means with mud and small sticks, which are used to make the walls or the fences of the cabin. As he will need some food to eat, so he will grow 9 rows of beans near his room. Also, he will get the honey from the honey bee hive. He says that the open space where he will build his room will be full of the buzzing sound of bees, as over there he will live all alone in peace and tranquility. The second verse, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer, and noons a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. So, over here in this stanza, the poet says that when in Innisfree, he will feel peaceful, and he says that the feeling of peace is felt slowly and gradually. He describes how he would feel peaceful in the morning time when it is cloudy and the view is not very clear. Then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Looking at this scene, it will make him feel very peaceful. Further, he says that when the male cricket insect sings a song, the sound will bring him peace. Also, at midnight, when he sees the twinkling stars in the open sky, their shine, their twinkle will give him peace. In the afternoon, when the sunlight gives a purple glow, that too will give him peace. During the evening, when he sees the bird, that is, a linnet is a bird, flying in the sky, even then he will feel very, very peaceful. Now we go to stanza 3. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. Now, in this stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up and go to Innisfree. That means he is making a decision. He is deciding to go to Innisfree because all the time the sound of the lake water striking the shores repeats in his mind. This sound attracts him towards the lake. Wherever he is, either standing on the roadway or on the grey colored pavements in the city, he hears the sound of the lake water lapping in the innermost part of his heart. Now, the rhyme scheme of the poem is, let us go back to the first verse. Innisfree, then made, Innisfree, honeybee, and glade. So the rhyme scheme is A, B, then A and B. See, Innisfree is A, made is B, then the third one is again it is A, Innisfree and B. So A, B, A, and then made and glade rhyme together. So it is A, B, A, B. Then the next is the figures of speech in the poem for all. The figures of speech used in this poem are I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. This first line you have a repetition. Repetition of the word go. See, I will go and go. So here repetition is used for poetic effect. And second line, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. So now there is an inversion in the sentence, in the grammatical, instead of writing, there is an inversion in the construction of the sentence. And a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. It should read, I will make a small cabin, I will build a small cabin of clay and wattles. So this is anastrophe, the second line. The third line, 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee. So now here we have alliteration. The sound of the consonant H, that is have and hive and honeybee. So the sound her, have, hive and honeybee, that is repeated. So it is alliteration. And live alone in the bee loud glade. So that is bee loud glade means you can hear the bees buzzing. And that the word bee loud glade suggests the sound made by the bees. So it is onomatopoeia. Also, the sound of the consonant L. Live alone in the be loud. Live and loud. So that is repetition of the sound L. Then, and I shall have some peace there. For peace comes dropping slow. Again, you have repetition. Peace and peace. So there is repetition. Then, dripping from the wails of the morning to where the cricket sings. Dropping and morning. You have dropping and morning. So that is internal rhyme. And also where the cricket sings. The word sings suggests sound. So that is onomatopoeia. Then their midnights all a glimmer and noon a purple glow. So alliteration, the sound of the consonant G is repeated. That is glimmer and glow. You have glimmer and glow. So that represents the starry. The sound of G is repeated by the words glimmer and glow. And then midnights all a glimmer. Now midnights all a glimmer. What are they talking about? They are talking about the starry sky. So this is metonymy. Okay, so it represents the starry skies and evenings full of linnets' wings. Now again we have the words linnets' wings means linnets' wings is flying of the birds, and the part wings stand for the bird linnet. So it is, we are not talking, so this is part for the whole, that is synecdoche. Then I will arise and go now for always night and day. So first is The opposite words night and day, that is antithesis. The words opposite words night and day are used in one line, and also it is alliteration. Now and night. We have now and night. Then I hear lake water lapping with low sounds on the shore. So again here alliteration l and l. There's a repetition of that. And lapping suggests the sound of the water. So that is onomatopoeia. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. So the words roadways and pavement both suggest the same thing. That means they are talking about the paths. And so it is tautology. When you use more than one word to convey the same meaning, that stands for tautology. Okay, so tautology. Then, now we will have a look at the question answers in the poem. What kind of place is Innisfree? Think about it. So, what kind of a place is it? It's a very quiet, peaceful place in the poem. The poet William Butler Yeats talks about it as an island which is in the midst of nature, in the lap of nature. It's a peaceful place. He wants to be in this place in order to feel close to nature and get away from the busy, hurried city life, and he wants to enjoy the company of the flora and the fauna, and he feels at peace even though he is all alone. And that is what he wants. He wants to be all by himself, away from all the pressures of life and everyday routine life. Then, the three things the poet wants to do when he goes back there. Now, the poet William Butler Yeats wants to go to Innisfree, an island in Ireland, and build a small cabin of clay and wattles, of mud and sticks. He also wants to have 9 bean rows. That means vegetables. He wants to grow there. His cabin, and wants to have also a hive for the honeybees. He wants to live all by himself peacefully with the flora and fauna and no one else. Then, what he hears and sees there and its effect on him. In the poem, William Butler Yeats quotes that in the morning he experiences peace dropping slowly, where he hears the singing of the cricket, and in the noontime he sees a purple glow. In the evening he sees linnet birds flying, and at night he sees the starry sky. All this makes him feel very happy and gives him peace of mind. What does he hear in his heart's core, even though he is far away from Innisfree? The poet William Butler Yeats feels at peace with nature in the Isle, means in the island of Innisfree in Ireland. He enjoys the company of the flora and fauna, and he hears the lake water lapping with low sounds night and day. That means there is an element of peace. When he's away from Innisfree, also he can hear this lapping sound, as it has made a place in his heart, in the core of his heart. That means in the center of his heart. By now, you may have concluded that Innisfree is a simple natural place full of natural beauty and peace. How does the poet contrast it with where he now stands? Well, Innisfree is a beautiful place in Ireland where the poet experiences peace in the midst of nature, in the middle of the flora and fauna. When the poet leaves the isle, he is standing on the roadway or the pavements grey in the city, middle of the city, with their pollution and lack of greenery. The hustle and the bustle of city life is full of materialistic things, and instead of bringing in peace and joy, it denotes pain and decay. Then, do you think Innisfree is only a place or a state of mind? Does the poet actually miss the place of his boyhood days? Well, it is true that Innisfree is an island of Ireland and a place where he spent some time in the midst of nature, in the lap of nature. This place gave him peace of mind and a lot of joy. The poet misses the place of his childhood as he cannot find that peace in a place where he is right now, in the middle of the city. So, some things of Innisfree have become a part of his heart. So, he always compares the place that he is now in with Innisfree and he misses them. He cannot find that calmness, that serenity of the island in the urban areas at all. Now, look at these words. the poet uses to describe what he sees and hears. The Be Loud Glade. Now, Bee Loud Glade means it is an opening, a clearing where there's a beehive and there are honeybees buzzing and humming all around. Then the second one, Evenings Full of Linnets' Wings. In the evening time, the poet sees many birds, linnets, which is a small brown and grey bird, flying all around him. And then the third one, lake water lapping with low sounds. While the poet is at Innisfree near the lake, he hears the water lapping. This sound is soothing, it's very calming, and becomes a part of his heart's core, which he can hear, even though he is now no longer at Innisfree. Now look at these words. Peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the waves of the morning to where the cricket sings. What do these words mean to you? What do you think comes dropping slow from the wails of the morning? What does to where the cricket sings means? Well, the poet William Butler Yeats experiences a feeling of calm and peace in the Isle of Innisfree in Ireland, which is in the midst of nature. In the morning, he feels as if peace comes down in small little proportions, along with the melodious sound of the insect, and it brings him a lot of tranquility and serenity. That means he finds a lot of peace there. So, children, I hope you have enjoyed listening to this poem where all of us, feel a longing. You yourselves may have spent your vacations or some time in your childhood, maybe in your, grandparents' place or in some kind of a hill station, or it may be an island, and you still remember the wonderful time that you had. So it evokes memories that we have had of our childhood. I'm sure you can also relate to such a feeling in the mind of the poet. So I hope you have understood this poem well and that you have enjoyed this poem. Thank you and have a nice day. Make sure you write the question answers of the poem in your fair book. Thank you.